Stockpile Man here. The last two videos I show you the 15 foods disappearing from stores, then how most people are storing them wrong. Today we are covering something completely different. Every day millions of people walk past these 10 items at Walmart and Costco. None of them go in the cart because you can't tell what they are just by looking at the packaging. But these 10 items which don't show up on most stockpile lists will outperform rice and beans when it actually matters. By the end of this video, you will walk into Walmart and Costco and put these 10 items in your cart. And when you do, you will wonder why nobody else is buying them. Let's get started.
10. Kirkland canned chicken. Costco Kirkland signature canned chicken. This is one of the most overlooked products at Costco, and the only reason is the packaging. It looks like an ordinary tin can. That is, until you look inside. Kirkland canned chicken contains no preservatives, just chicken, water, and a small amount of salt. 3 ingredients, nothing else. Costco shoppers on Reddit have brought this product up repeatedly. One person said, "It got me through college." Another said, "It's what kept my family going." But the majority of the community still isn't putting this in their cart, because the phrase canned chicken brings to mind something cheap and flavorless. That's a bias. And that bias is keeping people away from one of the most valuable items on this list. Why is it so valuable? Because the vast majority of standard stockpile items, rice, beans, pasta, canned vegetables, contain very little protein or none at all. Protein deficiency during a prolonged crisis leads within weeks to declining physical performance, muscle loss, and a weakened immune system. Kirkland canned chicken closes that gap. No cooking required. Open and eat directly, delivering complete protein exactly when you need it. From a cost standpoint, a 12-pack at Costco runs roughly $22 to $24. Each can contains about 12 to 13 grams of protein. That price-to-protein ratio nearly rivals fresh chicken at the grocery store, but the shelf life is 3 to 5 years. You can't store fresh chicken for months. You can store Kirkland canned chicken for years. The range of uses is wide. It works in soups, stews, pasta sauces, salads, and straight in a sandwich. Added to rice and soy sauce, it becomes a complete meal in 5 minutes. Mixed with beans, you get a complete protein combination. One detail worth noting, Walmart's store brand Great Value also makes a similar canned chicken. The price is slightly lower. A 6-pack runs about $8 to $9, but it contains preservatives. Kirkland's clean ingredient list is a clear advantage on that front. 9. Freeze-dried fruit. Walmart Great Value. Costco Kirkland. This category almost never appears on stockpile lists because people think of freeze-dried fruit as a snack, not emergency food. That's a significant mistake. Let's get to the core issue. Virtually none of the standard stockpile foods, rice, beans, canned meat, pasta, contain vitamin C. Canned vegetables have a small amount, but cooking and long storage significantly reduce that. Vitamin C deficiency causes measurable immune decline and slowed wound healing within weeks. Historically, what killed sailors on long sea voyages wasn't starvation, it was the absence of fresh fruit. Vitamin C plays a critical role for exactly that reason. The freeze-drying process retains 97% of the product's nutritional value. Only the water is removed. The taste, color, and vitamins remain almost entirely intact. When rehydrated, the result is very close to fresh fruit. Walmart carries Great Value brand freeze-dried strawberries, mango, and pineapple. A 1/5-ounce pack runs about $3 to $4. At Costco, a large Kirkland freeze-dried strawberry case runs roughly $18 to $20. That large case has a shelf life of up to 25 years. The freeze-dried strawberries you buy today will still be at full nutritional value 25 years from now. How do you use them? Rehydrate with water and eat directly. Add to oatmeal. Use as a snack for kids. During a prolonged crisis, they also provide invaluable flavor variety. 8. Large format oats. Walmart Quaker Old-Fashioned Oats, 10 pounds, Costco Kirkland. Oats show up on most stockpile lists, but in small format, that's a critical difference. At Walmart, a 1 0-pound bag of Quaker Old-Fashioned Oats runs about $8 to $9. That's 160 servings, roughly 40 days of morning breakfast for a family of 4. Cost per serving is 5 to 6 cents, maybe 1/10 the price of any breakfast cereal on the shelf. At Costco, the Kirkland large format container offers an even lower unit price. Why is this so valuable? Preparation is extremely simple, just water and heat. Even during a power outage, oats can be cooked on a camp stove. High fiber content regulates the digestive system during a crisis. People start eating foods they're not used to, and digestive problems become inevitable. Oats significantly reduce that risk. On the protein side, half a cup of oats contains about 5 grams of protein. Not sufficient on its own, but combined with peanut butter or powdered milk, it reaches a meaningful protein level. Its glycemic index is much lower than rice, meaning blood sugar doesn't spike suddenly and you stay full longer. Stored correctly in an airtight container with an oxygen absorber, oats last up to 10 years. In the original packaging, roughly 2 years. Transfer to a Mylar bag with an oxygen absorber, and that shelf life extends 5 times over. 7. Large format peanut butter. Walmart Jif, 40 ounces. Costco Kirkland, 6 pounds. This product appears on stockpile lists, but the large format is almost never discussed. And the difference between large and small format isn't just price, it puts the product in a completely different category in terms of cost efficiency and actual usable duration. At Costco, a 6-pound jar of Kirkland peanut butter runs about $10 to $12. That equals 96 tablespoons, roughly 1 month of daily use for a family of 4. At Walmart, the 40-ounce large format Jif runs about $7 to $8. Why is it on this list? In terms of calorie density, peanut butter is one of the most efficient products you can stockpile. 2 tablespoons contain roughly 190 calories, 8 grams of protein, and 16 grams of healthy fat. The fat content is especially important. Virtually none of the standard stockpile foods contain sufficient fat. Not rice, not beans, not canned vegetables. The body cannot absorb vitamins A, D, E, and K without dietary fat. Peanut butter closes that gap. No cooking required. Eat it straight from the jar. Mix it into oatmeal. Combined with rice and soy sauce, it creates something close to a Thai-style peanut sauce, delivering protein, fat, and carbohydrates in a single meal. Shelf life is 2 years unopened. If you bought large format, you can divide it into smaller jars and freeze them quality holds in the freezer for up to 1 year. Jif and Skippy add sugar and palm oil doesn't matter much in a crisis, but if you have the choice, the natural version is better. 6. Large format multivitamin. Walmart Nature, made 300 tablets. Costco Kirkland. This product doesn't appear on any stockpile list because it's not food, but in a crisis period, that's the wrong distinction to make. The vast majority of standard stockpile foods, rice, beans, canned meat, grains, lose significant vitamins during processing and long storage. USDA research is clear. Vitamin C and vitamin A are particularly sensitive to heat and time. Vitamin D cannot be produced by the body without sun exposure, and food sources are extremely limited. In normal life, these gaps are covered by fresh vegetables and fruit. In a crisis, access to fresh produce is the first thing to go. Within weeks, the effects show up: fatigue, difficulty concentrating, weakened immunity. Over months, more serious issues can develop. At Walmart, a nature-made 300 tablet multivitamin runs about $15 to $18. That's 300 days, nearly 10 months of daily multivitamin coverage in a single bottle. Cost per day, 5 to 6 cents. At Costco, Kirkland brand 500 tablets runs about $18 to $20. Cost per day drops to 3 to 4 cents. Shelf life is 2 to 3 years. Families with children should also consider children's multivitamins separately. At Walmart, large format gummy vitamins, 180 count, run about $12 to $15. During growth periods, micronutrient deficiencies show negative effects much faster. 5. Large format soy sauce. Walmart, Kikkoman, 64 ounces, Costco, Kirkland. You're not used to seeing this on a stockpile list. Most people think of soy sauce as a condiment for Asian cooking. That's a narrow view in reality. Soy sauce is one of the most powerful flavor tools in your entire stockpile. In the first video, we talked about bouillon cubes. Soy sauce serves a similar but broader function. Rice, beans, pasta, canned meat, eating all of these the same way every single day creates an inevitable monotony that rapidly depletes psychological resilience. Research has shown this repeatedly. repeatedly during prolonged food restriction periods. Flavor variety is one of the most effective practical interventions for morale. A few drops of soy sauce added to rice, beans, pasta, or canned meat turns it into a completely different meal. And its high sodium content gives it a natural preservative function as well. At Walmart, the 6 4-ounce large format Kikkoman bottle runs about $6 to $7. Costco's Kirkland brand is in a similar price range. Shelf life unopened is practically unlimited. The chemical structure of soy sauce prevents spoilage. Once opened, it maintains quality in the refrigerator for years. 4. Large format white vinegar, Walmart 1 gallon, Costco 2 gallon. This product almost never appears on stockpile lists, but white vinegar is the most versatile item on this entire list, and I'm going to explain that through 3 different use categories. First, cooking, a natural preservative for pickling, salad dressings, meat marinades, baked goods. During a crisis, pickling fresh foods with vinegar is the simplest way to store them for weeks, sometimes months. Second, cleaning. Mix 1 part white vinegar with equal parts water, and you have a powerful surface cleaner. It works as an odor remover in laundry and a lime scale dissolver for dishes. During a crisis, access to cleaning products becomes difficult. White vinegar fills that gap. Third, medicinal use. Antimicrobial effects in fungal infections are documented, mixed with warm water and honey for sore throats. When access is limited, these uses become more valuable. At Walmart, 1 gallon of white vinegar runs about $3 to $4. At Costco, 2 gallons runs about $5 to $6. Shelf life is practically unlimited. Its acid structure chemically prevents spoilage. At that price, no other product offers this level of versatility. Apple cider vinegar has been the subject of more health research, but white vinegar is far more powerful and economical for cleaning. I'd recommend keeping both. 3. Large format quinoa, Walmart 4 pounds, Costco 10 pounds. This product is almost never discussed in the prepper community because quinoa is perceived as a health food product. That perception is completely wrong, and I'm going to explain why from a nutritional science standpoint. Quinoa is a complete protein source, meaning it contains all essential amino acids. There are 9 essential amino acids the human body cannot produce on its own. Getting all of them typically requires combining multiple foods. That's exactly why rice and beans are used together. Quinoa does this on its own. In a prolonged crisis where access to meat sources is limited, that's a critical advantage. It's also extremely rich in iron, magnesium, phosphorus, and B vitamins. It's gluten-free, a critical detail when stocking for family members with gluten sensitivity. At Walmart, a 4-pound package runs about $8 to $10. At Costco, a 10-pound large format bag runs about $18 to $20, much better unit price. Preparation is extremely simple like rice, 15 minutes. It cooks slightly faster than rice and delivers significantly higher nutritional value. Shelf life in an airtight container is 2 to 3 years. With a Mylar bag and oxygen absorber, it extends to up to 8 years. Stocking it alongside rice is ideal rice for long-term, quinoa for mid-term. 2. Powdered milk, Walmart Nestle Nido, Costco Kirkland. This product shows up on stockpile lists sometimes, but the large format version and its different varieties are almost never discussed. Why does it matter? Milk fills a critical gap in calcium, vitamin D, and protein that standard stockpile foods simply cannot cover. To make this concrete, the daily calcium requirement for adults is 1,000 milligrams. Rice, almost none. Dry beans, 100 milligrams. Canned vegetables, 20 to 40 milligrams. During a prolonged crisis, this gap triggers bone density loss, muscle cramps, and nervous system problems. In children, it shows up faster, and more severely, calcium deficiency during growth periods can cause lasting damage. At Walmart, Nestle Nido powdered milk in a 3, 5, 2 pound can runs about $18 to $20. That's roughly 80 glasses of milk, about 20 days of daily milk consumption for a family of 4. At Costco, Kirkland full-fat powdered milk in large format runs about $20 to $22 and provides significantly more servings. Stored correctly in an airtight container, cool and dark full-fat powdered milk lasts up to 20 years. It works in coffee, baking, soups, and oatmeal. Mixed with water, it's nearly indistinguishable from regular milk in taste tests. 1. Large format electrolyte powder, Walmart Pedialyte powder, Costco liquid. This is a category we haven't touched on throughout this entire list, and it's the most important item on this list, which is exactly why it's in the number 1 spot. Because every other item on this list makes life easier, this one protects your health when it matters most. When it comes to stockpile foods, everyone thinks about calories, protein, and vitamins. Nobody thinks about electrolytes. That's a dangerous gap. Why? During a crisis, people start eating different, heavier, and less varied foods. Under stress, the body loses significantly more sodium, potassium, and magnesium. In extreme heat, under physical stress, or during illness with diarrhea, those losses happen much faster. Electrolyte imbalance, without correction, progresses in this order. First, muscle cramps, then headaches and fatigue, then difficulty concentrating and mental fog. In severe cases, serious health complications can develop. This isn't an exaggeration, this is basic physiology. At Walmart, Pedialyte powder packets in a large box run about $15 to $18. It's a product with pediatric origins, but equally effective for adults. And when you look at the packaging of these products, it's hard to tell what they actually are. Electrolyte powder is labeled either as a hydration supplement or a sports drink. Nobody walking past this box thinks stockpile item. That's exactly why it makes this list, and exactly why it's in the #1 spot.
Now, you know all 10. None of them look like preferred supplies, but that's exactly why they are available. When a crisis hits, everyone rushes for a rice and beans. These 10 items stay on the shelf because nobody knows to grab them. You do know. On your next shopping trip, put 3 of these in your cart. Just 3. Around $30 to $40 total. We will see you in the next video with Stockpile Man. Don't miss it. Bye bye.